You read the title. Mod of Redemption is the mod I'm anticipating the most. Shadows of Abaddon is a close second, and Calamity isn't even on the top 5. Let's just get into this. Many weapons, both vanilla and modded, now have elemental mechanics. Not all, but most. Not very many for ranged. Anyway, the elements have unique effects depending on the weapon or enemy type. Some have multiple elemental bonuses. Examples are lightning does more damage to enemies underwater, and fire sets flammable enemies on fire. The enemy elements range from taking less damage from certain elements, like Buko taking less damage from lightning and every abandoned lab enemy taking less damage from poison, to other stuff like guard points, which make enemies take less damage until their guard is broken. Weapons like hammers and rockets deal more damage to guard points, while Psychic completely ignores them. The mysterious gateway will spawn on the surface. Sometimes it will be right over the hill near spawn, or across the map behind the dungeon. At first, it doesn't do anything, but on the second day, you'll get a prompt and an icon will appear on your map. Upon approaching the portal, a cutscene will trigger. There's 2 variants of it, so I'll play them one at a time. When that's over, the Wayfarer NPC will show back up a few days later. Can't do quests right now, but you will be able to in the full update. The Spirit Realm is a new thing you can do. I don't really have words to describe what it is. To access the Spirit Realm, you'll need to find the underground mysterious gateway. You'll know you found it when you find a dead guy next to it. To interact with them, you will need the Dead Ringer. Surprise, it's in the building right next to them. You interact with the dead guy while holding the Dead Ringer, you'll get a little cutscene and a prompt. You'll need to set a hotkey to use the ability. While there, a filter will get put over your screen and ghost enemies will spawn. Right now, there isn't much to do with the Spirit Realm, but I'd imagine it will be very important for the Rituals class once that comes out. Somewhere underground, you'll find the Hall of Heroes. Within are 4 statues and a cursed gem. The gem is the only worthwhile thing here because it's used to craft the Chalice of Alignment. It tells you what your alignment is at, while also giving dialogue after beating a boss that affects your alignment. If you know Mod of Redemption, you know the Abandoned Lab. This is basically what the mod is known for at this point. You'll spawn deep underground somewhere. If your desert spawned on the right, just go to the bottom of that and you should find it pretty easily. Can't enter until the mechanical bosses have been defeated. Once you've done that, you can mine through the goop with the pickaxe axe or Drex, whichever you prefer. After you climb through the vent, I'm not gonna say it, you'll encounter the janitor mini-boss. To access more of the lab, you'll need to beat him, or just wear T-Bot Vanity in your armor slots. I don't need to mention the other mini-bosses since Git already has a video on the whole thing, so I'll just mention this since someone asked it in my previous video. After killing a radiated behemoth, you'll get some dialogue from Gyrus, and get the Omega transmitter. Now you know.
And knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe!
On that note, We'll talk about how to summon the bosses later. Now for the Hell Castle. I don't know what it's called, but it's home to the modded Terraria waifu of the year. Forget your maid Calamitous and Brimstone Buddha, and kneel before Noza, Tamer of Hell. Right now, she doesn't do anything besides make fun of your height and mention that she showed up early. There isn't anything to do in the castle right now, but you shouldn't need to do anything since she's there. You don't need anything else, you just need Noza. All is. Here's a clip of my favorite weapon. Does that answer all your questions? Floating up in space, there's a new sky island. Right now, it doesn't do anything. Moving on. Crash Ship spawns on World Gen, but won't be useful until you beat Kingslayer 3. He'll be sitting in his gamer chair and give quests to fix his ship. Make sure you fix it before beating Omega Obliterator, because Kingslayer 3 will leave by then. If plans haven't changed, he might come back as an Omega variant. I've been wrong about things before and might be wrong again. Completing these quests just raises your alignment, but if you complete all of them, Kingslayer 3 gives you a memory chip. It doesn't have much of a purpose, but you'll get some unique dialogue from Adam if you give it to him. You ever just wanted to drop a nuke on your world? Well, now you can. Simply buy a nuclear warhead from Adam, place it at your desired location, maybe a random area, maybe your friend's house, then flip the switches A and B to arm it. Hit the big red button and run. Or just recall. Within 30 seconds, whatever you targeted will be nothing but a nuclear wasteland with a big crater. Let's take a minute to talk about one of the more interesting additions from 0.8, the Soulless Caverns. You can access it with the Shadesoul Gateway. The Shadesoul Gateway is a bit unpolished as it has a boss health bar and happiness, so you better build yours a nice house. Alright, enough talking. Let's jump inside. Right now, there's one challenge drop, I think. I don't know if there's any more. The Cleaver remote drops from Omega Cleaver if you kill the wielder bot instead of the sword. Cleaver remote works as a secondary weapon that lets you use one of 4 attacks every 15 seconds. From what I've heard, Omega Gigapora will also drop a challenge weapon if you kill the worms instead of the probes. It hasn't been implemented yet, but it might be scrapped, so I have no idea. I'm not one of the developers. Thorn is summoned with the Heart of Thorns. You can craft it with vines, stingers, and a life crystal, or just find it growing on the ground. Arahan is summoned with the Forbidden Ritual, which is on the table right next to the mysterious gateway from earlier. Keeper is summoned with a wedding ring, which you can craft. I don't know if it's obtained normally. I haven't done a playthrough yet. Skull Digger will spawn underground if you have the Sorrowful Essence in your inventory. Once beaten, you will be able to peacefully end the Keeper fight by having the abandoned teddy bear in your inventory. Afterwards, you can find the Skull Digger as an NPC and give them the ring to increase your alignment further. Seed of Infection is spawned with the Anomaly Detector. Eaglecrest Golem spawns naturally as Sleeping Stones after Eater of Worlds or Brain of Cthulhu has been defeated. You can also summon it with the Eaglecrest Spell Tome, but I don't know how to get that yet. Kingslayer 3 is spawned with Cybertech. All 3 Omega bosses are spawned with the Omega Transmitter. I already mentioned how to get it, but you can also buy it from the janitor. All the Abandoned Lab mini-bosses, except Patient Zero, activate once you enter their rooms. Patient Zero, you have to attack it to activate it. Ancient Deity Duo spawning is a bit of a doozy. First, you need Gathic Stone, which is found in the Mod of Redemption mini biomes all over the world, and it's also dropped by Eaglecrest Golem. You do need to be Eaglecrest Golem as you need its eye. Placing the eye down will show an outline, and you will need to build around the eye with Gathic Stone. Just follow my example. After a few seconds, the thing you just built will explode into the summoning item, and it will start raining. Nebulous Summon is crafted with these items. Galaxy Stars are dropped by Star Serpents, which spawn in space after defeating Patient Zero. . Anyway, that's all I have for now. I was initially going to do a video showcasing all the weapons, but there's other Terraria YouTubers who can and will do one, but better than what I can. Wait until those come up then. I still need to figure out how to do still camera. There's nothing at the end here this time. You can leave now. I'd bark for Noza.